All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon. It feels like Monday because we just had our workshop, right? Got to get used to the times, though. We are doing Tuesday Traders Talk. So we just came off of our workshop just a moment ago. Michael, Grant, Leda. I saw Uma just before. Andrea. Got all of us here just still with us inside our live trading room. Great to see you there. And great to have all of you back otherwise on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Lower left at Cyber Trading U. Be a friend, tell a friend. We got a YouTube channel over there. Just we teach everyone how to follow the smart money. Look for those big iceberg orders out there. Let me ask you real quick. Last few days, last week or two, we'll begin on Novo. Who's been winning this battle here, folks? Quick question there. Who's been winning this battle on Novo? Buyers or sellers? Yeah, the sellers. That's for damn sure, right? So, of course, when you look long term, you're like, well, it fell off so much. Who knows? Maybe we could eventually see new support here around some of these prices. That's a ways away from where this stock is trading right now. This is like in no man's land. Basically, once it broke below support here from the last few weeks, even before the news that came out here, or like this morning, or from this past week, rather, going into this Monday, it was already testing support. It was already nipping and testing that. So it was in bad shape to begin. And then, yesterday morning news came out, going lower here today. Now, heading into this afternoon, well, it's at the lows now. I was just doing some quick scanning in advance of this meeting. We weren't really focused on this as much in our room, honestly. I was chatting Bill on coal, the ETF. I was chatting Tim on Wolf, Farzad on Tesla. We got some other trades we'll look at here, of course. But, it broke below this. Where is our next big support? It's not even big. It is not even that big, but, right around 39, 36. Well, it broke below that even this morning. These are weekly lows back from 2021, nonetheless. So, if you're going wick by wick, candle by candle, 37-ish. But even that, there's going to be a stronger support level, perhaps even right around even 36.40-ish. And then ultimately, if it keeps dropping like a rock, around 33s or so. So just point being, this thing has been dropping for a reason. News came out. Well, that's obvious. Look at the trend. The sellers have been winning this battle nonstop. So what happened here? Just made a lower high, pulled back. It's kind of near the lows. I would have no problem, long story short, finally, with putting this on our watch list here for the afternoon. Really. I mean, it's not down more than 5%. So I'll come back to this by the end of the meeting. If we don't really have a big list, if it still looks pretty enticing as a short, I would like to follow it. I don't think that this is going to have good legs yet on the way up, at least until it can get over this. If it can get over this line, there might be a better squeeze up to 41, 42, or whatever. But a buy is not even a thought yet on the stock. So we'll come back to it. Could be a good short. Let's see what we got, though, here, right from top to bottom right now. Again, we had a couple of other stocks that we were looking at, calling out just a moment ago. But no better place to start right from here, top of the gainers list. Now, the EDSA stock. So to go over a couple of things, we didn't really talk about this as much in our workshop. Honestly, a lot of it was on IBRX. If you joined me on social media earlier today, if you joined us in our room, we were talking a lot about the immunity bio stock, IBRX. Been talking about that for a while, but the EDSA, here we go. Here's the book map. So early on this morning, moved up nicely on the regular naked graph, but man, this book map is not so easy to read. Little support finally developed here around 10:30 in the morning. Little resistance finally developed here around 1:45, right at the same time. And then, yes, it did break out a little bit higher from there, pushed up right off that 145. I think good at the time for about 30, 40 cents. But it took a little while to get the job done, and not all of us are really, at our desks going into the late morning, early afternoon. So, if you caught 20, 15 cents on this thing and then let go of it, that's all right. That's fine. Because normally you expect reversals to happen around 10:15, 10:30, lack of momentum. So if you picked up that quarter, that couple of dimes on a couple thousand shares, it's still a nice little profit to have. And then on top of that, if you were someone that had more patience and if you were at your desk, the best ability is availability. So if you were at your desk present and you were holding on a little bit, with more patience, had a really good move. Clean trend with higher lows, higher highs all the way until noon Eastern. Now, though, heading into the afternoon, kind of flat. This is really where it becomes not worth their time. Some low float stock. It's a low float flavor of the day stock. Look what happened back in February of last year, right? I mean, almost a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, the stock was a pump and dump. So come back to this chart here in maybe a week's time. Who knows? It might be back down to like $1 or even lower. So just be careful there. Don't believe me? Look at UOKA. Look what happened to this stock a couple weeks ago, right? It's at 16 cents a dollar per share right now. 16 pennies. This thing was trading at like $2-3. Look what happened to it. So, this EDSA is just going to be flavor of the day. The fact that it's flat right now, it's done. ANPA, just again, pretty thin liquidity out there. Same with BNAI. This has been a classic pump and dump stock. I don't want to have anyone stuck on this thing as it's dropping back down. So rather pass on those things. Those are just distractions at this point. This had a little pop just before, but obviously did not flip resistance nicely into support. I didn't really notice this until just now, so I guess better to come to it now compared to prior. But either way, it looked good until it didn't. So at least now at this point, we're writing it off. IOVA was a great trade from earlier on today. This had some good levels. This had some decent, easy to see iceberg levels out there. Ended up making higher lows and topped off, though, right around 385, 386, just before, similar to the CLVT, where this popped and pulled back. IOVA popped, made a new high of the day, pulled back. This one, though, might have some more stability behind it. Let's see if it could at least hold over 370-ish, 371-ish here. That's kind of right near the VWAP anyway. It's still holding over the VWAP price. There might be a chance for this to try and go. I don't mind just adding this to our list for right now. I mean, shoot, I don't think we have anything yet. I don't think we've added a stock yet to our list. So we'll commit to the IOVA for the time being, but I definitely want to see it over 385, 386 area. VIR dumped off early. That's dead in the water. This was disappointing. I wanted so much more out of this stock from the mid-afternoon or early to mid-afternoon, the Rhyme trade. So again, easy to see level. Nice top here. Building up to it, building up, pop. Hey, it was a good start. Popped for about like 20, 25 cents, in fact. But I thought that this would have made a better move closer up towards resistance at 3. And listen, if it's not going to make that better move, and if it pulls back below this, then odds are this is going to be the end result. So a little disappointing, but when you think of it, it's like, okay, well, this was kind of like loser time of the day, garbage time of the day, where you should not be expecting as clean moves to happen there. So is what it is, right? That's all right. Go on to something else here at least. And what do you know? IBRX. I had no idea this was up today, right? All right. So, of course, we went over this. This was our case study once again here in Traders Talk earlier this afternoon. So if you had missed out on our workshop, make sure to go back on the student portal on our YouTube channel as well to check out the replay, the recording. Now that, though, I mean, hey, it's right at resistance here. This did have an iceberg. Oh, yeah, it smashed right through this thing. Oh, and a flip of the book here too. Perfect. So it smashed right over this like 200,000+ share seller. So that should be support now anyway, since it broke over it and ran. But even on top of that, or maybe I should say even below that, just to say, you got a new 250,000 share buy order. So this would have been support anyway, resistance flip, but yeah, have a new iceberg to pad the bid, stack the bid up there effectively. So, hey, I was going to put it on our list anyway, but IBRX numero uno, at least for right now, number 1. MBOT wasn't so bad. It's like flat. This is really slow. But as we head into prime time trading, the final hour, final 30 minutes of the day, there might be one more push on this thing, right? It's possible. Little iceberg on the buy side at 240. I'll come back to it. It's kind of slow, but wouldn't hurt. Just the AXTI looks pretty good, though. This on the swing side has been insane. On the swing side, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me with this move. So yes, we're going to put this on our list, but it looks great here. And if it breaks above this, I'd assume you actually should have resistance, albeit it's at all-time highs. You should have resistance at $35 looking at Bookmap, right? Look at that. I didn't see this beforehand. So I'm just kind of assuming because you're $5 price levels. But yeah, absolutely. 35 bucks, about 19,000 shares. Oh, and how about this quick shout out here just from before? Hope he's still tuning in. Jim from Toronto. Got a bunch of traders in our room right now residing, well, obviously from Canada, but specifically the Toronto area. So great to have you, Jim, on YouTube. All right, so AXTI absolutely goes on our list, and I'm actually going to separate IBRX and IOVA just because dyslexia. All right, so we got three decent trades. We got 4 decent trades now. 4, count this as number 4 because FRMI, it's at the highs. Not only is it on a good spread, like the order book, tight spread, a lot of orders at these price levels here on the bid ask. But actually, right off the very high, you had to have had massive volume just kick in here. Huge print had to have just gotten filled. You see it on the volume bars here, but you see it on the right side of my matrix. So for the time being, it's just an interesting trade. It's also tradable. It's at the highs. So yeah, FRMI. Check the daily chart for this one while I'm at it. Fermi. I have no idea what that means, Fermi. I'm not going to even care to look right now. I'll check after I finish up this meeting. I want to expedite this meeting for all of our students here. Get the list out to you. Would not shock me just the name firm as in fermentation. I don't know if they're doing like healthy food, fermented foods or something like that. I don't know. Either way, interesting chart, interesting book. We'll put it on our list for that reason. UCTT Ultra Clean Holding, great chart. Just kind of a lack of orders out there. Bid ask, big spread. So I don't have a need for that. Just nice chart, though. It's having a good day, obviously. Yeah, this too. CRBU. I'd call this one out earlier. It's kind of more of a category 1 type of stock. So it is kind of like watching the paint dry, watching the grass grow a bit. But, listen, perfect timing here going into the afternoon, final hour, final 30 minutes. It's what you want to see. Same with this. Good shout out from Tim earlier. Man, this thing's been sneaky. Because it's been chopping around for a little while. Like we've talked about this just in our workshop a moment ago about how, if there's trades that are just chopping around, it kind of makes you grow frustrated a bit, right? Like, come on, just keep going up, make that next leg, make a better move up. But for as much as this was chopping around, well, A, it was making higher lows, and B, it was poking at resistance back from October of last year. So I know it got a little hairy here back in the beginning of February, a couple of weeks ago, but the more it keeps testing that level, eventually you get a good payoff. And obviously that was today. So we called the stock out a little earlier here around 1:30 in the afternoon, but this is a really strong chart. Long-term, short-term, any term. I mean, it's not at all-time highs, but it's pretty much in uncharted territory, just aside from that one weekly candle. This thing's as good can be. Go Wolf here too. Number 2, IBRX. Number 1, Wolf number 2. Beam, a lot here. Wow, there's a lot of stocks that are at least at the highs of the day, respectively. So, stocks like this, I have to just stop for a second and give the eyeball test. But otherwise, there are trades that we're more familiar with. This might be a Bitcoin play today. Is it? Not even. Wow, not even. Looks like the Bitcoin mining stocks are just having their day in the sun today. Wolf and then the CIFR, Leda and Michael. It's been a beautiful trade going up. I mean, perfect opportunity to just follow a clean trend. This was going up into the market open, so the buyers are winning the battle. It's as easy as can see. And, we like the stock when it's moving, right? So a few of us look at this every day. It's not always going to move perfect every day, but neither is every other stock out there that's moving. So, every stock is going to have a different day in terms of speed, volatility, volume. So just to say today, certainly, along with the others, I'm sure, but CIFR is a pretty strong chart long-term here too. It popped back in, September of last year. I know it's been chopping around. It's been sideways, but look at this. Just a perfect trend line nearly off the highs. So eventually that thing's going to break. I hope. Eventually, I hope that thing breaks. Get my words right there, right? A little compliance there. But what else we got here? Anything else looking good? And it's already 2:48. Got to make sure that we're ready to go for the afternoon, but it's a big list. I mean, number 28 is up 10+% for me. So, and that's the TE trade. So TE Energy or T1 Energy, whatever. This one we're also very familiar with. So I got to add that near the top also. And now listen, if the Bitcoin mining stocks are all going up today, we don't need to add every one of them. You know, HUT's been a pretty damn good trade, but it's a little bit above our price range, at least normally. So we're going to more so cater to the Wolf, the CIFR. Poet's been a nice, fun day trade stock too of recent. I thought it was going to be a good swing trade going into the end of this year, but nasty drop back down after failing to break over 9. But you know, maybe it's on the way back up. Poet, I don't mind like adding to our list. Figma, you know, I could easily add that there too. I probably will at the end of it all. Let's just see anything else we could cherry pick. SEDG, not bad. I don't like this stock at all. Klarna, this is a horrible long-term graph, my friends. Yeah, so don't be looking for a swing trade on this anytime soon. Let it prove itself to you. But maybe it could be a day trade. Maybe it could be a day trade stock. But again, there is so much moving. Look at this. EOS back up today. The USAR is at the highs. I know a couple of us are on the U trade. All right, so I'll add the U trade, all about you, as I nickname it. We'll go EOS, EOSE, like that stock, trades good liquidity. The USAR, it's also a big here, right at the highs. We called it out earlier. I don't think that we need much else. Like, we literally don't really need anything else, but there's a lot going up. Don't get me wrong. So I'll tell you, if you are a trader here, you know that you don't want to get overwhelmed and you don't want to overwhelm your fellow traders. So this is where I'd absolutely just say start and stick with this list. We are at zero shortage of stocks going up right now. So, you know, if there's something that you're going to trade that's not on our watch list, I am rooting everybody on all the way through. But, you know, listen, we already have like 10, 11 different trades on our list so far. And I got to just cross my T's, dot my I's, just make sure that we get to the loser side. Not much that I see that's a familiar name, at least. I guess that's kind of easier to look at here. But yeah, not much else that I'm as familiar with from the loser side. Looking good. So that's fine. All right, well, that makes things a little bit easier. Shoot. Right at the end, right at the end of this meeting, we see something here. Oh, First Watch. Wow, they're publicly traded. They're like a breakfast, lunch, brunch spot. You know, there's one right around me in Pinellas County, Florida. I wouldn't have known at all that they're publicly traded, but I'll tell you what, I do now. And they're easy to borrow. And they are, holy smokes, at support. All right, so interesting trade at the very least. So little inside joke, but quite frankly, anytime I say, oh, I think that's it. I don't know if we have much else on our loser side to go through. There's always that last one, I swear. It just pops up. It looks like the best thing ever. So actually this FWRG trade, First Watch, on the way down. Yeah, pretty interesting short to work with. What do we got, folks? Top to bottom, we'll go Genevieve, Margaret, Genevieve, Genevieve. So EDSA, there you go. A couple nice trades from Jen right there on our chat board, right? And yeah, the IBRX just keeps going. So, you know, at least, hey, we have a big list already. But when we have stocks like IBRX that's just cruising at the highs, when we have stocks like, you know, the T1 Energy trade, that's looking just as good, quite honestly. Wolf, Cypher, got that there for later in Michael right now. And there's just a lot of other trades that are on our list looking pretty strong. So, you know, last thing you want to do is get overwhelmed or overwhelm others. And let's just keep it simple with our list here so far, right? Now, the only thing I'd say otherwise is if there's like a halt out of left field that just gets frozen, if a stock gets halted off of news pending or volatility, we'll call those out ourselves. But that's where I'll say we don't really need much else to work with. Otherwise, I got stocks looking like this popping up on my Benzinga. The Rhyme trade's dead. That one's been done. SPY's near the high of the day. So, of course, a lot of stocks, like we just talked about, at the respective highs. You got the State of the Union address tonight here in the U.S. So, even though we know a large amount of what Trump's going to be talking about and likely saying, I think there's going to be some investors waiting on his word to see at least the reaction. We have this, overnight pricing now. It's been more and more prevalent within the stock market. You can go on Robinhood, you can go on Moomoo, you can go on a lot of different brokerage websites to see the 24-hour pricing of these equities. So I do think that there's going to be some eyeballs on the market tonight, just kind of as Trump's talking. And then not even that. It's not even that, guys, quite frankly. That's just the first thing. Tuesday comes before Wednesday, right? So that is the first thing. But the more important thing, quite frankly, I think is NVIDIA earnings. I think a lot of people are waiting on NVIDIA tomorrow. And, we'll see what happens at least with that. But you might get a slow afternoon. You might get a slow tomorrow, perhaps, in lieu of that. That's where I say even further, right? Just stick with what we got for right now. And, even at 3:30, if we have a couple stocks that are dumping off at that point, we'll rerun our scans then. We'll see if there's any last-second pops that we can catch going into the end of the day. Absolutely, Genevieve. I want to just shout out her comment right there. She had a great day altogether. Just a couple of trades she posted in her chat board. But she wrote, "It is useful to check Bookmap for big sell order resistance for those stocks which have had big gains." Absolutely. Appreciate you saying that, Jen. And folks, for right now, we're going to jump off. You got Rich on the mic taking you going into the close. I'll be on a private coaching with one of our students. Hey, Jim, and all of us on YouTube right now, if you're interested in joining us directly inside our live trading room. Holy smokes, that banner on the bottom is going fast. I just slowed that down for you. So if you're interested in joining us for a week-long trial, go directly to that link scrolling on the bottom in blue. You'll see it popping up in 3, 2, just about 1. CT.co/trial. Otherwise, if you're more fancy with your phone, with your camera, you could always scan this QR code and join us directly there, folks. All right. But otherwise, we've got an hour-long broadcast here taking us into the end of the day. And even aside from NVIDIA, there might be some other earnings coming out tonight after the market closes that we'll stick around a little bit for. But best of luck trading going into the close for all of us here. Let's not get too overwhelmed. Keep things pretty simple. Focus on trend, and see what we can catch out there. All right. Talk to you all soon.